Hello, everybody. Aaron Sampson here. Man, it is a great week for shooters. We got Orisa coming up in the PTR this week. We got confirmed PvP in Ghost Recon Wildlands. We got Battlefield 1 dropping They Shall Not Pass trailers. And now we have Escape From Tarkov devs stopping by to talk about the new Scav class. Next to me is Nick. He's head of studio.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Welcome. So let's go ahead and get into it. We are going to talk a little bit about the new class that you guys are showing off at GDC, or the new faction, I should say, Scavs. What are Scavs? When can people play them? And what do they do?
So, the Scav or Scavenger is kind of new gameplay mode in Escape From Tarkov, and it's about finally have some fun, in Escape From Tarkov, because it's really hard to play, and the Scav faction is created to, blur these peaks of hardcore, to blend the hardcore and arcade gameplay, that's all together. And mostly Scavengers is like local bandits, and they are the hosts of Tarkov City, and they just made to have some fun, to make some kills and get some loot in a more more arcade way than main character.
So yeah, Scavs, from what you've described, it's sort of your low risk play for the night. So you said you could play them on the order of something about like once an hour, or pay some in-game currency.
Yeah. It's planned to implement them as like you don't. I think it will be one time per hour, or you will be able to pay some rubles or dollars in-game currency to play them more than one per hour. So yeah, this is it.
So the purpose of Scavs, it feels a lot like, you've designed a pretty hardcore shooter, and it's pretty punishing when you die. Like, you've got this fantastic weapon system, this fantastic mod system in the game, good physics, and when you die, you lose it all, and you have to sort of buy it back the next round, or hope you collect enough stuff, or extract if you're the good ones. And the Scavs, so you spawn with random loot. You spawn with random gear, and you still extract like everybody else, but you don't lose anything from your main inventory when you play as them.
Yeah, I think people asking to boost up the microphone levels. Yeah.
Get our levels up so everybody can hear us.
Yeah. And just a second.
We're also taking questions in the chat, if you guys have any questions for Nick.
I gave some directions.
Here, I'll get you a little bit closer to the mic.
So the question was about inventory and loot and equipment and weapons of Scav.
Yeah, where does the Scav fit into the inventory management system of this game?
You will spawn as a random generated character, Scav character, with random weapons and gear, and you don't need to equip anything before the session. It's just a lottery, so you can get an automatic weapon, so you can get a simple pistol, or you can get only a knife, so it's pure random stuff. And yeah, so even its appearance, also clothes, also randomized.
Maybe we can talk a little bit about, so, when I asked you about your influences for this game, because it is hardcore and punishing, and that's also what makes the game so satisfying and high stakes. You'd mentioned that EVE Online had sort of influenced how you think about loot, like the way that people build and loot ships in EVE Online. Can you talk a little bit more about just developing a hardcore tactical shooter? You're appealing to like a very specific subset of gamers, and focusing on just making this one thing really good. What are the challenges to making hardcore tactical shooters?
I think the main challenge is to get all the things all together. So there's a lots of hardcore, pure militaristic features that we need to combine in a whole thing, whole working thing, and you know, it's hard for some. It was really hard to make some features. Like we need so much expertise in you know, weapon modification, for example, or weapon handling. that was pretty hard. I forgot what I tell.
Talking about, yeah, I mean, that was a good example. You know, so when you build a hardcore tactical shooter, what are some of the challenges to, you know, making it that way, right?
Yeah, there is a kind of, you know, level of realism, and we always try to, you know, to raise the bar as much as possible. And this process is kind of, you know, heavy and hard to develop. So as I said before, yeah, you should select factory, for example. Yeah. No, you can just play with bots. This one. I don't know. This one too, and this one. Yeah. Hit ready. Sorry. And yeah, the main the main challenge is that for some time we just didn't understand how to do things, and we don't have so many time to understand, so we need to improvise to, you know, make some research and talk with some professional people. So cooperation with them also was a challenge for us. It's mostly about knowledge and understanding how to do it, and, you know, in the engine, and I don't want to say more.
So taking real life shooting mechanics that you guys did research for and then translating that into a game,
yes,
can be challenging, because, you know, the way that people do things in real life and the way that you play it in a game and actually make it fun and satisfying for players through, you know, the combat and the loot. How do you balance that? How do you balance realism with a game, with keeping a player hooked?
This is what actual alpha testing and beta testing is about. We are constantly testing, and we're trying to get more, you know, professional people to test it. We even try to make game sessions with a current or ex-militaries. So it's more about testing. While we test this thing, we balance it, and this is pure testing stuff. So it's hard to implement. At first, of course, we have actual parameters and attributes of weapons and, you know, character, but later we need to balance them in these sessions, in these gameplay sessions, in alpha testing and future beta testing.
We had a question in the chat about when can people get their hands on the upcoming scav mode?
I think it will be available later this month. So right now we are polishing it and testing and showing it in GameSpot. I think this month it will be available in public alpha testing.
We had a question here about scav AI characters versus player-controlled scav characters.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think players will be able to tell the difference between the two? How they behave differently? Do you think?
We will try to, you know, make this gap as small as possible. So right now, AI controlled scavs looks like they are AI controlled, and we will add more, you know, human style of gameplay. So you will not be able to, you know, take the difference between them. They will talk, I think, more like humans and act more like humans.
Are you saying they're going to have, like, do you guys have any area chat, or, like, are you going to be able to overhear scav? Because you said scavs can form teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will you be able to hear them talking, communicating with each other if they're players?
Yeah, there's automatic reply system. Kind of, they comment everything they see, and every action they see, they will comment it to and disclose their position. This is a kind of minor thing. You know, the bad thing about playing scavs that they are too loud and they comment everything, and yeah, they definitely comment everything. And you can say something, and the scav will answer your question, or just comment it in a scav way with lots of explicit words.
You'd mentioned if players are playing as scavs, they might not be attacked by the other AI scav control players.
Yeah, but if you try to make something bad with them, try to shoot at them or something, they will definitely try to kill you. So, yeah.
Let's talk about sort of some of the other ways that players retain their gear through the game. So you'd mentioned the Omega containers. That system might expand as we go into development, that there might be ways for you to get larger Omega containers. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, this thing is called secured containers. And this is the feature that allows you to save something from your loot that you found in the game. It can be upgraded. You can buy a larger one. You can get it from as a reward for a quest from a trader. The bigger the size of the secured containers, the bigger the items you can get out, even if you die in the raid. Like big weapons or large amounts of cash you found in the raid. And so yeah.
What went into the decision of the size of the Omega container? Because right now I think it can hold about a pistol and like a med pack and maybe one other thing. And then, as you mentioned, that'll be expanding maybe to a point where you can actually get a whole rifle into one of those. So how do you what's the decision about the size of that, and sort of where that starts for players and where it would end up for players?
It's also like work in progress part. We just decided that the first type of secured container will be 3x3 cells, and it seems like okay right now. We'll see how the game will develop further, and maybe we change a little bit in terms of size of this container. Right now it seems like intact. It's like okay for everybody. You can save a pistol or 3 pistols, money, some valuables, some rare ammunition, grenades. So it's kind of big, but you will not able to save a full-scale weapon. But if you will find an AK for 74U, you can unequip a stock, and we'll try to fit the weapon in this container. This feature will also be available. Like if you change your weapon parts, it will change the sizes itself.
So maybe by pulling the stock off the back of the rifle, you can get it in there.
Yeah, it's planned to do this thing also.
So the other system you've talked about is the insurance system. So when somebody does make that really amazing customized rifle, how's the insurance system going to work, and when do you guys anticipate that being in the game?
Insurance is another feature to blend this, hardcore and not so hardcore players. And this feature for those who are really afraid to lose stuff. And this is a chance to save your belongings. Why chance? Because it's not like you will get the money for loot, for equipment that you lost in the raid. You will have a chance to bring this weapon back to the trader. Will try to save your weapon if this weapon, for example, didn't loot it by anybody else on that raid where you died. So this is kind of chance to return your stuff.
And you'd mentioned because you do have to wait till the end of the raid
Yes.
to know if that happened or not. You'll get a message.
Yeah, you will get a message from a trader via messaging system. It's also available right now in alpha version. You will get a message that's hey, I got your gear. I got a part of your gear. I said what I could. Yeah.
Follow-up question on pulling weapons apart to fit in your safe container. So the question was, are there going to be any changes to certain weapon sizes, the amount of blocks they take up, or when you use a smaller buttstock on a shotgun, for example?
Yeah, just what I said before. It's kind of feature that we will implement, like the weapon. If you change anything in the weapon that influences on weapon size, it will the weapon will be smaller in terms of cells, and you will have an ability to pack things more, more dense.
Also, for people just joining us, a repeat question. I thought scav mode would allow you to leave with some stuff. So, scav mode, how do you get stuff out of scav mode?
At first, you need to escape from the raid successfully. So you need to survive. When you survived in the raid, the game will pop out the special window called, as I believe, Scav Loot Transfer, and you will be able to, drag and drop stuff to your main character stash. So it's a good way to get more loot in easier way, more arcade way.
And I think the flip side of that was that you don't risk any of your loot from your main inventory when you spawn in a scav. It's a random assortment of stuff that you start with.
Yeah, that is the main idea, that you start from scratch with a random person, with some kind of equipment and weapons, and you will have a strong chance to, break the game for other people and have some fun, get some loot, and get out alive, and make a good, feelings of a game.
Michael Berry is asking, as a scav, if you kill AI scavs, will the other then target you?
Yes.
But you do spawn in a random spot on the map, so it's not. Is there a chance you'll spawn with another group of scavs?
Yes.
That are AI controlled?
Yeah. There is a bunch of. There's many spawn points from scavengers. And you could definitely spawn with another AI-controlled scavengers. Also, there will be a feature that you will be able to get a scav with the party, with your friends, and the game will be more fun, I think, because with friends it's always funnier to kill people in game.
In the announcement about scavs, it said that they spawn mid-raid. The
scav faction spawns is based on wave-based scenario. So we have several waves of spawn, and you can get to random wave. You don't know for sure, and it can be in the middle of the game, in the middle of the raid. It can be even closer to the end of the raid. So yeah, it's totally random stuff.
Once again, for those of you just joining us, I'm here with Nick, head of studio. We're looking at Escape from Tarkov. We're talking about the new scav faction right now, which is new at GDC. Feel free to throw us a like or subscribe to our channel for more coverage of Escape from Tarkov. Hey, we love tactical shooters. Okay, let's talk about sort of the bigger picture of this game. So, players right now have this slice of the game. It's a couple of levels. It's largely PvP with some AI on the map, but I think mostly players are just, killing each other and taking loot and extracting. So where do you want this game to go from here, from the slice that players are seeing right now?
It will be more storyline oriented. There will be big amount of quests, and they will lead you through the storyline. So just to ensure that Escape from Tarkov is not just about fighting. It's it's not only fighting, it's also lots of exploration. It's about finding truth, what's going on, and why do we have to escape from Tarkov. So the quest, quest part of the game are gonna be huge, and I think it will be one of the most important parts of the game. And yeah, we will try to focus on this scenario-based gameplay. And also we'll give lots of features for those who are just wanna have some fun and shoot. We'll also upgrade a trader system. We'll add some flea market and auctions. Again, for those who, somebody wants to be a trader in the game. Why? It's okay to add those things to them, and we think that's we will make the game for nearly every single type of player who love action and who love chatting, even chatting in game or chat or something. So the game will be for everybody, and it will be wrapped with overall storyline-driven gameplay.
So what you're describing sounds a bit more like an open world.
Mm-hmm.
Is the game going to be a series of connected levels, or is it going to be like these traders? Are they going to continue to be menus? Are they going to be in like a little town? What's the idea there?
At first, right now we're implementing the first game mode. It's scenario-based game mode. You need to complete the raid step by step and escape from Tarkov, and find this end game scenario, and resolve some mysteries about the plot of the game. Later, we will add a free roam mode. It's kind of sandbox where you will be able to travel to where you want without any limitations, and it will be more dynamic, more interesting, and more dangerous, I think.
How do you... So, I mean, when you want to send players on quests, because of the loot nature of this game where you will have people like starving for your good gun, and you'll have some really good players with like some amazing builds, how do you get players to not just instantly kill each other right at the start and to actually go engage on these quests?
That's a good question. This also is about testing, of course. Right now, we just released an update with extended part of a customs location, where we rebalance the spawns, we add a new route, and we done this just to lower this thing, as at start everybody is shooting. It's kind of massacre for everybody, and we want to this kind of jumping and gameplay is too hardcore for everybody, even for hardcore players. And yeah, we will make this adjustments to level design, spawn location. We'll balance them, and also there will be some limitations based on character level. I think even secret meta levels of skill of player, to divide the players in different ways to ensure that the game for new buys it will be not so hard at first.
Do you want to segue that maybe into the skill system? Like what you said, there might be in the near future 10 to 15 skills that players are going to get their hands on.
Yeah, right now we're also developing the first bunch of skills. The skills based on the repetitive, stuff like Elder Scrolls series. You need to repeat some actions to boost up your levels of skills, and we plan to launch an update with a scav faction. I think there's also will be a bunch of skills, like 15 or 20 skills. I don't know yet. I think even maybe 10 or 15. These skills is about physical stuff of character, like strengths. I don't remember right now. Yeah, so that will be the first bunch of skills, and This will be their major update for those who want to develop his character in terms of skills and experience.
This is the patch potentially at the end of the month.
Yes.
I think people in the chat want to know about new maps or new areas. When they can expect those, get their hands on them, play in them.
Right now the huge part of the development process is about making some new locations. And right now we are still developing the huge and ambitious Streets of Tarkov location. It's so huge that we are really afraid of it. So it's so many fully lootable buildings, rooms and stuff, lots of. And this is kind of challenging for us. Also, we are developing a shoreline location. It will be bigger than Woods location about 2 times, with a huge, some kind of hotel, abandoned, of course, and some village, some swamp, area. So it's gonna be interesting, I think, and. I don't quite sure when we will be able to release it, but I think it's quite soon enough. Let's say it like this.
I think we had a follow-up question. People want to know about any new weapons in the game.
Yeah, of course. New weapons is what we love, and I think you're gonna win this match.
All right.
All right.
Survived with the stuff.
Yes. What was the question?
New weapons in the game?
Yeah. There will be an MPX, some machine gun with lots of customization options. There will be also APS, fully automatic pistol from Russian Special Forces. I think there will be some special rifle from Lobayev Arms. It called DVL, I think. It's also super special and super cool. And the weapon development process is also challenging, but we really know what to do in this process, so it's quite satisfying for us. And weapons is what we love and what we will keep as much detailed as possible.
Have you talked on stream before about the slightly less than authorized sound test you guys were doing in warehouses?
Yeah. There was the story. We went out to some kind of abandoned location, some warehouses, shoot from weapons so loud, and when we was hearing the sounds of sirens of cops, we got a bail.
That's indie style development.
Yes.
The other thing you talked about was, so that's the larger maps, the weapons, the hardcore stuff. You said people might just want to come in and have an easy night, and there's potentially this arena mode or this scav mode, 1v1, 2v2s. Can you talk a little bit about that?
The arena mode is also kind of pre-production. We have some concepts, and it will be like a Stalker arena mode. If you remember, there will be some environment that 1x1 players or 2x2 trying to kill each other. It's kind of gladiator fight with bets, with applauses and stuff, with fame. And right now we are still thinking about it and pre-production it. So I think it's gotta be cool, because the gameplay session will be like 5 to 8 minutes. So it's fast. You just in the evening, just to take some couple of fights.
Good warm up.
Yes.
We had a question about earlier in the chat about the patch that just came out, sort of addressing changes to the game. It was mentioned as might be even a patch today. Was there a patch today?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be maybe. No, I think it will be next week. For
next
sure.
week.
Yes. With some optimizations.
So it's interesting when you're trying to hook players in a hardcore shooter, sort of by nature. So like there's a lot of other games that are really concerned about fairness. I think most of the casual games are concerned about fairness. And when you're creating a hardcore game, by nature you care less about it because it's comes a lot down to skill level. So how do you keep players, beyond players who just like fundamentally like games like DayZ that aren't super fair, how do you keep players who might not be like as good as other players in tactical shooters? What's the hook for them?
I think these gameplay modes that we just discussed, as arena, scavenger, and stuff, also they will get. I think they will get some, help from the traders, some specific gear to help, to adapt, to help adapt them to the situation. And of course, this is the thing that need to be tested. We need to test it, play it, and I think we'll get more solutions when we will test it further on beta testing, I think.
Follow-up question actually from the chat, which sort of plays into that idea, is how are you going to balance matches when you form 5-man teams if you always outnumber other players?
Oh, it's another, this is not helping at all. When you have a team up to 5 people, it's not kinda you gotta rush the whole session and win for sure. Totally. You have some advantages. You will have some advantages being in a group, but you need a real professional once in that group to ensure that you will be, super effective and stuff, and you will get out of location alive. It more depends on, overall professional level of player. Not even the gameplay professional. It's more like real life professional. So the guys who have actual military experience, they just better in Escape from Tarkov than others.
They might set up a better ambush in a better spot.
Yeah, they know how to move. They know how to cooperate. Of course, professional armor players also knew this thing.
It kind of reminds me of when I started playing the Division's Dark Zone a long time ago. It'd be 7 players chasing down a rogue agent, and then after launch it was 7 rogue agents chasing down a lone player.
Oh, that Division, you have some fancy, icon above your head that you're a rogue. This skull, this kind of arcade for us. Being douchebag in Escape from Tarkov is okay. This is a kind of tactic, and this is a kind of gameplay. Okay, again, you just acknowledge it and adapt to it. So there's no boundaries. You need to think how to deal with them.
Did you ever see the DayZ video of the guy who ran around with a fire extinguisher?
Yes.
Shouting, "You have no right to banditry here!"
Yes.
Freaking people out, chasing him down.
Yeah, when we will have a push to talk voice AP stuff, like you push the button and say words to world, I think there will be so many situations like this. Because I think that will be funny.
In the chat saying you don't have to rush a group. Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to, as somebody who plays hardcore tactical shooters, it comes down to when you're facing a larger group, you have to dance around the outside and pick them off and play with them and make sure they don't actually ever pin you down.
I think the more effective group is kind of 2 or 3 person, well coordinated, well played together, and they will have this advantage. And of course, you need somebody who knows the map really well, also good with weapons, also have sniper rifle, or have a large amount of ammunition, also have a special key. So there's lots of this options to deal with.
So that's a good place to talk about how realistic modeled weapons affect a gamer, how a gamer handles a weapon. So I think, like trigger control, not firing wildly spread. How do you What's your take on that? What's your take on real life weapon handling versus somebody with a mouse and keyboard?
That's a good question. You know that this is a game,
Yeah.
and of course, some points of a gameplay, we made them with some approximations, and this is this is a hard question. I really don't know what to tell about it. We're given some control, some controls that they are really easy to use, and the player decides what to do, how to control your player, and how to fire. You can simply press like mouse button and fire, like spread fire with and deplete the ammunition, but it's up to you to understand that. Okay, I have a fire selector. Okay, I can check ammunition. I can, check the ammo in the chamber. Okay, so I knew this. I just understand how to deal with the information right now, and so we just creating this environment. We just created these controls and weapon handling principles that you need to use, and you gotta know by yourself what to do with them, and just test them, just see what's going on the screen.
It's an interesting problem to tackle, right? Because we had somebody ask about PKM machine guns in the chat. Like something like a light machine gun are very hard to control in real life.
Yes.
And unless you're at long range, you'll be at a disadvantage to somebody who just can have a tighter shot grouping with, like some of the easier guns. So how do you, like in a game, how do you balance that?
Right now we're implementing the cool features like we have a stamina bar, and with the heavier weapons it will deplete more faster. So when you are in a stance when you are in aiming stance with a heavy machine gun, you will not be able to stay like this for a long time. So it's a kind of balancing feature. Also the recoil will be heavier or less if you're change your stance positions, like if you are in prone. Yeah, we got a firefight over here.
Right now we're playing offline, just so you know, to show off the game.
Yeah.
These other players, you'd be smoked.
Come on. You gotta do it.
Do as we do, not as we say. Sorry, other way around. Do as we say, not as we do.
Yes. Totally, you got him. Yeah, so some balancing features, of course, are implementing just, to have some feeling that you're with a heavy weapon, with a specific weapon. Every single weapon mostly has its unique kind of reloading system. We are implementing these features also.
You said also how does mastering a gun affect your reload?
What's going on over here? Excuse me once again.
How mastering a weapon?
Mastering a weapon
affects your reloads.
Yeah, there is 3 levels of mastering. It's like a familiarity with the weapon. If you play with the weapon often, if you kill people with it, if you have successful hits, it will gain some points, like experience points based on weapon. It's called weapon mastering, and every single level you will get some cool features like first you can check the left ammunition left in the magazine by pressing, I don't remember what, I think Shift T or LT or Shift T. Yeah, LT. As you can see, the fall is this caption. If you have less than half magazine, the caption will say to you less than a half. So it's the kind of first level of weapon mastering, and if you get the level kind of 2 or 3, you will get the exact amount of ammunition left in magazine. Also, you will get some new, fancy, and more professional style of reloading. We showed it in last video called year results report, year report or something, and every weapon will have this unique animation. It's also planned that at top tier weapon mastering you will have an ability to tactically reload your weapon while in aim mode. So it's kind of purely militaristic super spec ops style of weapon reloading. Really fast though.
On the other side of that, I'm fascinated by the idea of weapon jams.
Yeah.
I think I haven't seen that since, Far Cry 2?
Weapon jams is kind of good feature for us too. We love it. And the weapon has several types of jams. They depend on ammunition quality, weapon quality, and so on. You will need to find some good ammunition. You will need to keep your weapon repaired. And this is it. So if you have your weapon in a really bad condition, you will receive lots of jams, misfires, even hard stack of charge, and you will need to to troubleshoot this thing, and they will cost you a precious time, and you will be definitely killed while you trying to remove these malfunctions.
Several questions in the chat revolving around how similar is this game to DayZ?
Once again, I was looking. Could you repeat, please?
How similar this game is to DayZ, or influences of DayZ?
That's a good question. The Escape from Tarkov is not like DayZ, because the Escape from Tarkov is more about super realistic, pure hardcore combat situations in a harsh environment. Of course, there is lots of survival elements, like you need to eat from time to time and drink, maybe also use some medkits, but it's mainly, mostly about combat, and with better graphics, I think.
Throwing it back out to the chat. For those of you just joining us, we're streaming Escape from Tarkov and talking about the new scav mode and other developments that actually will most likely drop later this month. Feel free to subscribe to our channel, give us a like if you want us to do more tactical shooter coverage. I'm here with Nick, head of studio. We are currently attempting to extract again.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it back out to the chat with any more questions you guys have.
I see a question. Is Tarkov a real Russian city? No, it's not real. It's kind of fictional city, but it, kind of real. With the whole infrastructure, it was based on, the combination of St. Petersburg and Moscow, and maybe even more. So it's a financial center and industrial center of this parallel reality Russia. And the situations over there is taken by huge huge corporation called Terror Group, and every single part of storyline revolves around this situation. There's lots of fights between two private military companies called United Security and Bear, also locals called Scavengers. So it's kind of dangerous situation for everybody.
Had a couple questions in the chat about arena mode. Will you lose your gear in arena mode as well?
As I said before, we're just thinking about how to create this mode. I think there will be two sub modes. Like at first one, you will able to use your own gear, and definitely if you die, you will lose it. And the second one, you will be able to choose for some kits, basic kits, just before the gameplay. Like I choose shotgun and body armor, or I choose this assault rifle with one magazine and stuff. And the second one is more easier in more like scavenger arena. So I think there will be you will be able to play in arena like your main character, like your main PNC character, also as a scavenger.
People want to see the arena. Any idea when you guys are gonna time frames for showing that off?
I don't know yet. Sorry. I think maybe the end of the summer.
How about other types of betas? So is there going to be any?
Yeah, we plan to release a closed beta in early summer, and the open beta at the end of the summer. I think my guys over there back in Russia, development team, are listening to this, and they just, oh my god!
They just put a note on their calendar.
I can't believe. So yeah, this is the main idea. We really wanna release the beta versions in this summer, and with the help of a loving community, of course.
Multiple questions on consoles. Release on console?
Yeah, it's planned, but it's like long-term plans. At first we will release Escape From Tarkov on PC, and then later on we will try to understand, is it possible to, to release it on a PS4 or Xbox One. This is planned.
Going back into the system, so there's a question about a karma system. I haven't heard about that. What's the karma system?
Karma system is the feature that bonds to a trader system and the bounty list feature. There's lots of features left.
It is in development.
Yeah, it is in development. And karma is about being nice, like in real life. If you kill for no reason, like now, you will get some minuses, you get some decreased karma, and the traders will be not happy at all, and they will block the assortment for you, block the selling process and stuff. Also, we think about some cool feature, but it's kinda spoiler, but I'll say it. You'll start to to get ill more often, to jam more often, like in real life karma. So if you have a bad karma, the strange things will happen near you and with your friends, I think, also.
Guilt by association.
Yes.
Interesting. So that might be one of the methods to keep players from just ganking people from their own faction or immediately killing everybody around them, and actually engaging with the storyline, engaging with some of those side quest areas like the dormitory. If they just shoot everybody in the back right at the start, then they might start having more jams, more trouble trading.
That's the idea, yeah. It's gonna be late. I think you better run. Because, there are wolves nearby. Even, werewolves or something.
Any mutants come out at night?
Mutants, yeah. There will be no mutants in Escape From Tarkov. Don't worry.
Any Stalker influences? That game comes up a lot, or that style, visual style.
We had an idea of that game for a long time ago, and the Stalker, of course, we love Stalker series, and but we not, I think we kind of looked on the Stalker and made a game, made this initial concept without any ideas having from Stalker or something. It's more like our own game of a dream with a Stalker look-alike.
Let's go back to, so you guys do have like a vocal group of people in the chats who are always concerned about pay to win, which is a thorny issue for developers. When you have a game where you lose inventory every death, I think people are concerned what happens when you get to no loot at all, and whether they're going to pay money at that point to re-up their loot inventory?
No. There will be no free-to-play features at all. We personally hate this free-to-play stuff. And if you lose everything, the system, the game will help you for sure. Some trader will send you some goods, even maybe some administration will help you out, and I think everything will be okay. Right now, just for testing purposes, there's a lots of money, so you can test the whole lineup of weapons and modifications. But later there will be some quests, there will be some sandbox mode, like the first location will be limited to a maximum 10 level of character and stuff. So of course we will make the game suitable for all audiences, and we'll try to make the people happy. Even it's a game about this. So getting killed nearly every time without understanding what's going on.
So it's interesting. Development has changed a lot. The thing to do these days is basically to include your community in the development of a game, which is, it's interesting because you have people see an unfinished game at its various stages. I don't know, how are you guys feeling about development alongside communities that happen now versus the older method where you would never show something until it was done?
This is kind of suitable for us because I don't say that we are not familiar with the genre, but it's kind of new for us because the game is huge in terms of development, and we definitely need the support from the players because we're not an AAA publisher stuff with publisher, so we kind of all on our own. And yeah, of course we need this support, we need some ideas, we need some help. There's lots of help is coming right now, I think, and I see in the chat there's a bunch of our fans that are helping us and loving the game so far. Thank you very much. And this is kind of independent style of game development, but the game itself is really huge. So I think it's kind of unique situation, and yeah, we linked to a community so badly. We need to we just can't be without them. So yeah, they are helping us. They give us a lot of ideas and feedback and so many help.
Somebody's giving you the idea to use the SV98 sniper rifle. I think they might want to see that.
SV99, how about make some? I can help you. Okay.
We'll get that loaded up for you real quick, and then we'll probably take a couple more questions. We will be back on a little bit later, probably around 3:30, streaming Orisa from Overwatch, the new character who's in the PTR. So stick with us. For those of you who are just joining us, we'll wrap up shortly here, but we are streaming Escape from Tarkov. I'm here with Head of Studio Nick. We're talking about all kinds of things, including the upcoming scav mode at the end of the month, potentially some of the skills and abilities that you will also be able to play with at that point, and then just developing what it's like to develop a hardcore shooter in conjunction with your community and balance everything out. Feel free to throw us a like if you want to see more streams like this, and subscribe to our channel. People want to see the arena.
It's not done yet.
It's not done yet.
It's kind of interesting, effect.
Yeah. So we'll just get queued up here, and then we'll go back into questions from the chat. Scav mode is coming. Looking in the chat here, Scav mode is coming at the end of the month. We do have a quick video up on GameSpot where we did play one round of Scav mode. Maybe for people who jumped in really late in the chat, let's just one more time go over what Scav mode is real quick. And
so the Scav mode, right now you're seeing the typical gameplay without a Scav. It's like typical game mode with your main PMC character, but we plan to release really soon the new gameplay mode called Scavenger Mode, and it's about being a scavenger, local bandit who just wanna have some fun, get some loot, get some kills, and get out alive. The main features is like you will get a fully randomized character when you start the raid. So appearance, gear, weapons, medkits or something, maybe even water or cigarettes. And typically you will need to survive, but it's okay to ruin the game for those who play the main characters. And you need to get out alive and get as much loot as possible. And if you survive with this character, you will able to transfer your loot to your main character's stash. So it's kinda you paid this scav character to get you more loot. So this is the idea of new scavenger gameplay mode.
I think tap an N to get your NVGs on.
Yeah, you can tap an N.
Get those hot night vision goggles on.
Oh yeah, and you can switch off the flashlight. T. Alright.
So scav mode is sort of the low risk version of the game where you're not risking loot from your actual inventory.
Yes.
But it is, the way it's proposed right now, it is limited to either a certain amount per hour, once per hour, or paying in-game currency
Totally, yeah.
to do it.
You're limited, and later you will be able to, pay some money to play scavenger more often. Also, we also have plans to make some customization of scavenger to add to him more ammunitions, like or increase the chances of appearance of sniper rifle, for example.
Any customization of characters' faces, clothing? I think that was a question.
Faces and clothing, yeah, it's planned to. We will have some specific service of someone of traders that will able to change your clothes. I think the face is kinda you will select the face in the start of a game, so there's no plastic surgeon in the game, so we'll be able to change your face in the middle of the game. Yeah, but without this many kind of customization, with lots of hats and stuff.
Repeat question, can you go to the exit with the scav?
Yes, this is kind of the goal for scav too. You need to escape from location as well as the PMC characters, but you are in in the higher situation position than the other players. Yeah. Okay.
And just to recap, scav mode is proposed at the end of the month, along with some of the...
I think during this month. Yeah. At the end of the month, we will try to make it as fast as possible, of course.
So going back to the question before we load out into this round about developing with a community, it's really interesting. Like, I've followed Battlefield for a long time, and I know that they, DICE is a company that looks at the comments and they look at the numbers, the stats, and then they have to make a decision. How do you make a decision when your community is telling you something between who's the loudest versus what's going on in your game?
Frankly, it's kinda. I personally see the really good ideas, and there is no evaluation of this process. It's like I just see something interesting and say, okay, guys, we gotta do this thing, and it's kind of good. But I think later we will implement new kind of evaluation process for those ideas to make some features that are community driven, and this is kind of future project for us. I think we'll implement it in a couple of months through like public evaluation process of features that public wants to be implemented.
Question in the chat about, so currently you can buy versions of the game that give you what chances of getting into the various builds?
Yeah, right now at the site escapefromtarkov.com we have a pre-order page. This is kind of option for those who wanna play in closed alpha testing. Different tiers of packages with a different chance of getting into alpha version. We decided to do it a long time ago, and different packages with a different kind of loot you will get in the game right now. And after, I think, open beta, we will stop wiping the accounts in testing purposes, and we will maintain this loot and gear that you found, that you had permanently till the game will be released.
We had a couple people who asked about scav, seeing scav mode. So we couldn't do it on this stream, but we actually did talk earlier. We did a GDC appointment, and we took footage of scav mode. That's up on GameSpot right now.
Yeah, we'll be able to see it. It's a kind of differs from the gameplay as we are seeing right now, but not so not so big difference, I think.
Seems the main difference is spawning randomly somewhere on the map and
with random equipment and weapons,
and then essentially going up against the other players who will no longer be able to tell if they're going to run across AI scavs or a player embedded with AI scavs. You were saying?
Yeah, but you will definitely see the scav controlled by a player. Its behavior will be like more human. Or more stupid, I don't know. I think even more stupider than a human, I think, behavior. Take more risks, yeah. With the scav character, you don't need to be so super stressed during the raid, cause you have nothing to lose, really.
You're not risking any of the gear from your main inventory. All right, I think we're going to take any final questions and then wrap up our stream. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about? Developing Escape from Tarkov or builds?
Yeah, I want to say, but I want to say it in Russian. Is it okay?
Yeah.
В общем, ребята, которые слушают нас на русском языке, я вижу, что очень много комментов у нас на русском языке. Вам всем большой привет. Вы не думайте, что раз Никитка заговорил по-английски, он вас всех забыл. Я желаю вам всем, не знаю чего, всего самого хорошего. Спасибо, что вы нас поддерживаете, потому что русское комьюнити, оно, в принципе, самое мощное комьюнити. Вот, мы вас все любим, я вас всех люблю. Не держите на нас зла, мы все сделаем как надо. Большое всем спасибо. GameSpot очень классные. Спасибо. So I just say a lot of things like GameSpot is cool, GameSpot is super cool.
I'm sure you're just talking a lot of crap about me the whole time.
No, not really.
All right.
Maybe a little.
Thank you so much, Nick, for coming out and showing us the latest build of Escape from Tarkov. Scav mode will be out this month, and people who are in the game will be able to get their hands on it.
Yeah.
This is GDC week. There's a lot going on, so give us that like. If you enjoy what we're doing here at GameSpot, covering GDC and tactical shooter games, or subscribe to our channel, and you will find out when we do these types of streams. Coming up at 3:30, we'll be streaming Orisa, the new Overwatch character. She's in PTR. She's got lots of legs and a shield, and she catches people with her bubble tentacles.
Oh, sounds interesting,
Yeah. Pretty much the exact opposite of a hardcore tactical shooter.
Yeah, this is so opposite. But I like Overwatch. I like, many other games.
How can you not?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
We'll see you guys at 3:30.